What's going on, people?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. New episode of Bourbon and Blunts. And if you are listening or watching, doesn't really matter, you may have noticed that the audio is a little bit different. And why is that, my good friend?
We're trying out new microphones. It's going to be a new thing here on every podcast. You might see us using a different mic every podcast.
Yeah. And the main reason is because you review a lot of microphones.
I do. I love audio. We talked about this before with like the School of Broadcasting, radio and things. So I love, big fan of audio, and shout out to all the companies I've worked with.
Yeah. And what microphones do we have here today, buddy?
So today we have a microphone from Donner, and
That's the one I got right here.
It is the DC87. It's a large diaphragm condenser microphone. It's a good looking mic.
Yeah.
Kind of cool.
I just learned something new today. This little John right here, for those of you who are just listening, it's like a black plastic
It's a
thing.
windscreen.
Like a windscreen, yeah. It's called a Placid, right?
No, it's called a windscreen. It's to protect against plosives.
Oh, plosives. Just like I just did, plosives.
Yes, which is a sound that the mouth makes when you
say
like,
peas.
And you would hear it on here too.
Go ahead, say it.
Peter Piper picked a pepper.
Yeah,
plosives.
Plosive.
I could put a cover on here too. I have a cover for this to make it sound better. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, man.
So today we got a mic from Donner, and this is the Rode Pod mic.
Yeah, so this one sounds pretty good, I think.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. Some other things on the docket today. We obviously are doing our weekly segment of What's Inside You.
It's time for
What's Inside You? Follow up by a new study which links mindfulness, meditation, and psychedelic use to positive leadership outcomes at work. And I know, go ahead, say what you're going to say.
Always back to psychedelics.
I just,
Always
it's
back.
I haven't taken any psychedelics in a long time. A long time. What's a long time? A year.
3 months.
3 months. I would say actually it might have been, no, it's probably longer than that. I would say 6 months to a year. But anyway, so we'll dive into that article a little bit, and then we'll wrap up with words of wisdom with digital slang. But before we do that, let's pour a little bottle of, we have Rock and Rye, Slow and Low, Hofstadters. Dude, this is the OG.
It is.
Right here, my friend.
That's one of the first ones we had, isn't it?
It is one of the first ones we've had a long time ago, actually, when we were messing around with other stuff. When you first started getting into YouTube.
Yeah.
And this whiskey actually was what got me into a little bit of the rye whiskeys. So I really like the taste of this rye whiskey. And we'll just shout out to the OG Hofstadters, Rock and Rye, Slow and Low.
And shout out to everybody watching. If you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments on every video. It does help. And if you are on audio only, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, thank you for listening. And you can support anywhere from 99 cents to $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
And or you can just watch, chill with us, and hang out.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Boom.
Cheers.
Hofstadters.
And let us know what you think of the audio.
Okay. So last episode.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Say what you're going to say. Say what you're going to say.
Very different taste.
Very different taste. What's your thought? So we just had Blanton's on the last episode.
Yeah.
Big difference also in price.
Yeah, price is a big difference.
What do you notice?
A few more drinks, and I'll answer that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough, my friend. What else? Anything else we need to talk about before we get into our first segment?
What did we talk about on the podcast? Not last podcast, but we wanted to do some things. We're going to have some gear coming, some merch coming eventually. You know, it's a lot of work to get all this stuff done while having a full-time job and running a YouTube channel and the 10 things you're doing and trying to go to the gym and do, life.
Yeah.
But merch is coming, T-shirts are coming, some Zippos are coming.
Yes.
A bunch of different things will come in time.
Yeah. Yeah. In time. We're getting there. That's the one logo, dude.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. Pretty dope.
So, anyways, all right, man. Let's get into our first segment. Hit the button. Don't forget it.
It's time for
What's Inside You. You can tell it's getting later in the day, and this is definitely the second podcast of the week, and we're already a little buzzed.
It's true.
It is true. All right, let's. You go first.
That's fine. Usually, we should let everybody know when the second podcast is because.
That's true. Because sometimes the second podcast actually might come out first. Sometimes,
right? And sometimes we're a little more tipsy in this podcast than we are in the first podcast.
That's true. That's true, man. All right. Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, go ahead, buddy.
I need answers from everybody on this question.
Okay.
Is cereal soup? Is cereal soup?
Well, then I guess you could ask the other question
Is
from the
soup
other
cereal?
Is soup cereal?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to say no. Okay, here's my rationale.
It's such a hard question.
Well, I don't think it's a hard question.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. The reason why cereal is cereal, because you think about, okay, you can think about this. You know, when I just said that, you know what I meant because you can feel it. You can think about it.
But what if... Oh, okay, go ahead. Keep
All
going,
right.
keep
The reason why cereal is cereal
going. Such an interesting question.
and soup is soup. All right.
You saying hot and cold?
One of them being, well, that's not always the case either.
It's not. That's
Because
what
you
I
have
was gonna say.
oatmeal.
Yeah, that's
Oatmeal
exactly where I
technically
was
is a
going with
cereal,
it. That's exactly
right?
right, but it's hot.
It's hot.
So is oatmeal
A soup. No, it's not. The reason being...
What's the difference?
All right, the reason being is because you eat soup typically at a certain
You can
time
say
of day.
time of day.
That's typical. That's number one. Doesn't have to be always. Same thing
It's
with
not
cereal.
always. I've had soup for breakfast before.
I believe it because you're weird. The
No,
other,
I worked. Doesn't matter.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you also have cereal sometimes at nighttime.
absolutely.
Maybe, right?
All the time.
Okay, there you go.
All the
You
time.
do. I don't have fucking cereal in my house. I have oatmeal in my house. But other regular cereal, like you can't just take, a handful of freaking dry ass oats and
No,
you're not
I
gonna do
love
that.
cereal.
Yeah, it's addicting.
Yeah.
It's addicting.
Love
It's meant to be
cereal.
addicting.
I'm
right?
good with that.
So you typically have soup a certain time of day. Same thing with cereal. You typically have cereal a certain time of day.
But that doesn't define it.
It doesn't define it, but this is a characteristic of it.
It is.
You also typically, cereals are made from what? Grains.
Not all cereal.
Not all cereals, but I'm just saying typically are made from what? Grains. But name one cereal that's not made from a grain.
Oats.
Oats are fucking grains.
I know. I'd have to.
Right, you
I'd
can't
have to
think of
look,
one,
yeah.
right? Because if they are out there,
They're out there. There's thousands of cereals.
I understand they're all made from what? What's the primary ingredient?
I don't know. Sugar.
Grain.
Sugar. is-
Enriched, wheat flour or
flour,
whatever.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Soup is made from something different. Yes, there can be grains in soup. However, typically soup is made with a base. And what is the base? Well, the base is
a broth.
A broth of typically of some
It
sort.
could be water, though.
Could be
like
water.
you put in oatmeal.
Maybe it could be chicken broth, beef
Could be.
broth,
You could-
vegetable
yeah.
broth. It could be the base. Actually, could be the vegetable itself.
Could be
tomato-
cream. Could be gravy.
Okay, exactly. So you have a base, and then in that base, you typically have something else in it, which could be vegetables, maybe wheat.
Yeah.
right. Like
Could be.
like macaroni
Could
or
be,
something
absolutely.
like that.
Pasta.
But you don't have vegetables in your soup.
No, you do have
I'm
vegetables.
sorry, you don't have vegetables. I'm
You
sorry, you're right.
certainly
You
have
don't-
vegetables in
You
your
don't have
soup.
your vegetables in your cereal.
You don't, but does that mean that just
no,
that's what
but
defines soup
it
is
doesn't-
having a
it doesn't-
vegetable?
But it doesn't have to define it. What are the characteristics of it?
But that's not the question.
I don't think you can. Okay, if you had to put a definition on what is cereal and what is soup, okay, the definition of cereal would be a food stuff that you typically eat for breakfast that may be hot or cold that is made from grains.
So it's just random all over the place. It may be hot or cold. It made from wheat or grains or something else.
No, well, wheat is a grain.
Well, it could be made from a lot of different things.
What is it made from? Tell me.
That's not
Grain.
the only thing. That's not the only
It's
thing.
not the only thing. What's the primary ingredient, dude?
It doesn't matter. What's the primary ingredient of soup?
Whatever the base is.
It's the same applies to cereal.
Well, the base then would be milk.
No, the base would be the wheat.
All right, fine. The wheat, we'll say.
We're adding milk like we're adding broth.
All right,
to
well, there you
soup.
go. So now
Yeah.
that differentiates them.
But you
Soup
can
and
add
cereal.
water to both too.
You could as well.
And people eat water in both.
You're correct. What is more common to eat?
It doesn't matter what's more common. Everything has something that's
I
more
know
common.
you want to
than
try to
it.
justify your position.
We're yin and yang, motherfucker. We're gonna
You're
go back
not
and forth.
correct though, because there is a clear distinction between the two.
Is there though? That's why the question exists, because there isn't.
Because nobody fucking really thought about it that damn deep. There's a major distinction between the two. What is the major fucking distinction?
That's your opinion. It's your opinion.
It's not an opinion.
It is an opinion. What, that wheat is the main thing for cereal, and that what is the main thing for vegetables, or the main thing for soup?
We're going to use the Socratic method here.
The Socratic method.
What is the main ingredient in most... I'm sorry. What is the main ingredient that you can think of in all cereals?
I'm going to Google it.
What is the main...
I don't know.
Come on. You can freaking think with your freaking brain.
Nope. We're gonna let the internet decide.
Oh, my God.
Because well, you're just saying one thing.
What is the
All
primary
you're talking about
ingredient?
is you're just talking about grain. That's it.
Because that's the fucking primary ingredient.
Well, let's see what it says. Let's see if you're correct.
Oh, my God.
What is the main ingredient in cereal? Let's see what it says. Cereal grains. Wait. Hold that. There are two main types of cereal ingredients most commonly found are grains and sweeteners. So it's one or the other.
It has to be grain is the primary ingredient.
It doesn't.
Yes, it does,
You could have
asshole.
freeze-dried fruits or freeze-dried
But
fruits.
that's not going to be the primary
It
ingredient.
could be. You could have Raisin Bran.
It's the fucking bran. The bran is the freaking main ingredient, which is made from grain. Christ. You just want to fucking rile me up.
I do. It's so easy.
Because you're wrong.
It's so easy.
But you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
Oh, criminy. You're one of those people that just can't ever concede to
That's
anything.
so funny.
All right. So, anyways, I'm pretty sure I nailed that question. Continue.
It won't click on it. Where were we?
Second question. That was the first question. We didn't even get to the second one yet. Continue.
Wait, did I start?
You started.
We're 12 minutes in.
Jesus. All right.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Would you rather have no nose or no arms?
Oh, no news. I mean, sorry.
I think that's an easy question.
Well, I was going to say actually no arms. I want to switch it.
You would have no arms and
I don't know,
and a
man.
nose.
Because I saw a guy without a nose the other day, believe it or not. And I couldn't tell because it was farther away. I couldn't tell head on. But when I got the peripheral, I was like, oh my God, that dude didn't have a nose.
I mean,
I don't know, man. That's tough. Because you want both of them, right?
yeah,
You
I
want
think I would
both.
want arms though. Arms are going to allow me to do more.
I would agree with you.
Yeah, nose is for smelling, which is important.
Yeah,
and
but it also
cool,
messes
but
up your look.
It does, but so does having no arms.
Very true. That's a good point. Didn't think about that.
How you gonna
All right.
grab a woman?
You're right. I think I'd have to go with no nose.
Yeah, no nose.
Yeah.
for sure.
Damn it. All right. You're right. I'm wrong. I agree with you. Okay. My question. Oh, you answered that
You
one.
got to answer them.
No,
you
I
agreed with the nose, but
I answered it. You
yeah,
asked me the question. You got to answer it now.
Oh,
We got to put this one out second.
well, no nose. Yes.
Okay. We already talked about that one.
Yeah.
Is cereal soup? Is soup cereal? We did.
No, I'm gonna say they're different. I would say they're different. I just like fucking with you.
All right. Fine. Oh, they're definitely different.
Yeah, they're different. I'm gonna say cereal is not soup.
So we agree.
We do.
All right.
I just wanted to be an asshole.
All right, my man. My man. All right, here we go. Ready? What do you fantasize about?
Retiring.
Oh, all right. You fantasize about retiring.
No. I need to tweak that a little bit.
Okay, continue.
I don't ever want to retire.
right.
I want retiring from my main business now. And that's really good now. That next sip
Pretty good.
was delicious.
Right? So Hofstadter, Slow and Low, Rock and Rye. This is the whiskey that got me into rye whiskeys, essentially.
Yeah, it's a different taste though.
It's a little bit more zing to it.
Yeah,
it's
there's
not as smooth
No,
as
it's not as
something
smooth.
like Blanton's.
It's not as smooth, but
it
it's
has-
good. It's not harsh either.
No, it has a very nice taste to it. It's a sweet
It's
taste.
like a smoky taste almost.
Oh, you taste smoke? See, I get a hint.
There is a little sweetness to it.
I get a little, I get some
There is a little
sweetness,
sweetness
to it.
to it.
Almost like a type of honey.
It's so different,
It is different,
but
very
it's
good.
delicious.
All right. Okay. Ready, my man?
Yep.
What do you fan? Oh, you said retiring.
Well, from not in general, but the main business.
Okay.
To focus on other things.
Other things. You retire from the main business.
Correct.
All right, got it. What is your love language?
Touch.
Oh, so you're
If I like a girl,
physical touch.
physical touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
You say that's like number one. Is there any like secondary love languages that you may have?
Words.
So for all you words of affirmation.
Words. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all you single ladies out there, if you're listening or watching,
If I'm touching you,
yeah, he knows he likes you.
yeah.
All right.
If I'm touching you, I'm interested.
Okay. All right. My love language 100% words of affirmation.
Yeah, words are cool.
You don't ever have to do a damn thing for me. If you tell me you love me, you appreciate me, that's all you need to do. It's all you need to do.
Look at the camera when you say that. Don't look at me. That's a little weird. You got like real serious.
I did,
like looking
man.
at me. No, talk to them.
All right. Listen, if you tell me that you love me, you appreciate me, you care about me, that's all I ever need. That's all I need. That's you don't have to do a damn thing.
Words of affirmation.
Yep, words of affirmation. All right, what was the other question?
The first one?
Yeah, it was the first one, dude.
Fantasize about.
What I fantasize about? I fantasize about creating something very successful.
I would agree.
Yeah, and I walk through that scenario.
Which goes back to if you were great at one thing,
Yeah.
you'd probably already have that.
Right, because I focus all my energy on that one thing for a short amount of time or a certain amount of time.
Or whatever.
Oh, it's a long
until it's successful.
Well, over the course of time,
Yeah.
I would say like yes, I focus on all these things over the course of time. But what I do as a generalist, exactly,
All over the place.
I'm like a honeybee.
And you might be good at everything.
Yeah, but right, exactly.
That's like like in football or baseball or any sport. If a team is just really good, like at everything,
yeah.
doesn't mean they're going to win the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah,
Because one team's going to be fucking great that year.
Absolutely. So I'm good at a lot of things, but I'm like a honeybee, and I'm just kind of pollinating all my flowers.
Yeah.
If I could focus on one flower,
And sometimes that's mental. It's not something that you like can stop sometimes. Sometimes it's just who you are.
I think so because I'm interested in them all.
Yeah. You see something that interests you, and then you're like, oh, I want to try that.
Right. Yeah. I'm like that. The hell was that dog on? Was it? I was like a squirrel. Yeah. Every time the damn dog saw a squirrel, he's like chasing that squirrel.
Yeah.
So, anyways, maybe that's a blessing. Maybe it's a curse.
Yeah, I think it's both actually.
Yeah,
Because maybe you're chasing the wrong thing, or you think it's the next big thing instead of focusing on something you're already really good at that has crazy opportunity.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. We'll see if I can right my ship one direction.
Yeah.
So, anyways, did we answer the questions, buddy?
We did.
Oh, did I answer the second question?
You did. It was fantasize.
Oh, fantasize. That's right.
And what was the other one? Cereal soup.
Yeah, I don't know.
I believe we answered 4.
I think we did too,
Yeah.
man. Anyways, let's switch gears. So, our main segment of today, as you all know, I'm very into and interested in psychedelic use, as well you are too, my friend.
Correct.
Although I talk about it quite a bit.
Correct.
And this new study links mindfulness meditation and psychedelic use to positive leadership outcomes at work. And before we start and get into this article a little bit, as I summarize it, I know you've mentioned some of your experiences with psychedelics. What's been your biggest takeaway with taking psychedelics for you? And do you think it's made you a better leader?
No, I no. I'm
Okay.
not a better leader. I did it for fun when I was younger.
Okay. Yeah, you've done it when you were older, though.
Yeah, but no, I never thought about, like, when I would do it, I would make sure I was somewhere for the night, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I'd put safety first.
Yeah.
I'd make sure I was somewhere for the night, whether that was a friend's house when I was younger
Right.
or home chilling with a bunch of people and we all did it together. Like, I never did it alone.
Okay.
I always did it with friends.
Okay.
And each time was absolutely amazing. Like, never had a bad trip.
Did you get anything out of it? What did you get out of it?
So when I did, we're talking about mushrooms here.
Yeah.
So when I did mushrooms, and I probably did mushrooms maybe 8-9 times, maybe 10 times in my life.
Okay.
And every time I did it, if you've ever experienced it. I know you have.
Yeah.
For me, the trip that I always had was I'm not the nicest and happiest person.
Yeah.
That changed on psychedelics.
Really?
I'm very happy. Everybody is my best friend.
Oh, we should do psychedelics
Like-
together, man.
But at the same time, I feel
Yeah.
every single fiber of muscle in my body, and I feel like unbreakable. Like
Interesting.
like I could like feel my fingers digging into this wood here on this table.
Okay.
And I would feel like I'd be able to rip this table apart.
Yeah.
Like I would feel like incredibly strong
Interesting.
on psychedelics.
Okay.
And then, you know,
But you don't think it made you a better leader?
I never thought about that back then.
Okay.
Even, you know, I was always with friends hanging out, having fun.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
swimming and
Right.
things
You
like
you were
that.
kind of using it more for like a
was a
have
social
fun
thing.
party type
It was
thing.
a social thing,
Right. Right.
for
And,
sure.
and I've definitely used them solely for a spiritual type journey.
I've never tried that. I never sat down and did psychedelics and was like, I want to go on a journey
Yeah.
and just like, whatever, meditate or talk about something deeply.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was always fun.
Right, I got you. Yeah, I've done psychedelics one time with a group of friends. I had a great time, great experience, but I was more concerned with their experience because it was their first time. So I wanted to make sure like they were okay. I didn't take as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
I want to make. I mean, one of our friends was literally having a conversation. The couch was literally talking to him.
I've done it. I've done
yeah,
it.
for sure.
I've talked to a
100%.
mermaid.
Yeah. Oh, you did tell it. That's
I
right.
told you the
talked to a
story. I was in a
mermaid.
pool. I was swimming in a pool.
Yeah.
I was on the bottom of the pool looking up, and there was a
mermaid.
raft with a mermaid, and she literally spoke to me.
Yeah. I believe that.
She
I
literally
understand.
spoke, and it freaked me the hell out. Dude. I got because we were at a party. There was three of us,
Right.
Me and two of my buddies back then, and we were at a house party. But everybody at the house, even the people that lived there, were
Yeah.
gone. It was just the three of us left at this party
Oh wow.
in the backyard, chilling
Okay.
in this guy's backyard.
Yeah.
None of us lived there.
Right.
So I was swimming. They were tripping out, just talking, like sitting at a table.
Yeah.
And I was in the pool swimming, talking to a mermaid.
Did you get anything out of the mermaid conversation?
No, but what it did, it made me get out of the pool, and then I went into the street.
That's smart.
And it was in a development.
Oh, okay, okay.
And then there was a school around the corner, and I was running full speed all the way down
How
the
the
street.
fuck were you able to do that on
All
mushrooms,
the way
man?
down the street into a fence to try and get into the school. Like full speed into a fence to try and get into the school.
Oh my god,
And it wasn't just me running full speed. They came with me, my boys, and we were all trying to do it.
that's funny, dude.
I remember, so one of the best times I've ever had was we were at my boy Mike's house, and there was like 6 of us
Okay.
tripping, and we were on shrooms, and he lived on a golf course.
Okay,
So at night, we would just walk the course.
that's fun.
And when you're tripping, and there was like, you know, places back there,
Yeah.
like little shacks and where they keep like stuff. So we would like walk the golf course on shrooms, you know, in the summertime when it's 70, 80 degrees
Yeah,
out. It's
yeah.
beautiful out.
Yeah.
It's such a good time.
Yeah, I could see how that's beautiful.
Such a good time.
Yeah.
You ever eat oranges coming down from mushrooms?
No, but I do love eating coming down from mushrooms.
You
in
need to
general.
try oranges.
The best oranges you ever had in your life.
Let me explain something to you. Better than sex.
Oh, you're going deep, man.
Coming down on shrooms, eating orange. It has to be specifically oranges.
Like
There's something about
no clementines.
it could be clementine.
Okay.
There's something about the vitamin C and that taste that
All right.
it literally,
I'll give that a go.
bro. I'm telling you.
Okay.
There was like 4 or 5 of us. We were coming home from a club, and we were all coming down. We were at a club in like up by New York, and we came down. I was living on the beach, and we were partying at my house at like 4 a.m. And I, for whatever reason, I had like 30 oranges in my fridge. And we were all coming down from our trip, and we decided to all eat it. Bro, we ate 30 oranges in like 10 minutes.
Wow.
All of us. We devoured them like we never had food in our lives.
Well, next time, if anybody out there is listening and you're or watching on YouTube, drop a comment below. Let us know what's your favorite food to consume coming down off mushrooms. Is it oranges? And if it is oranges, is it really that good? But I could definitely see something
You
like
need to try
in
it.
the citric acid of
Yes.
the orange or any citrus.
all your senses are enhanced when you're feeling
Well, that's why I love eating food. Especially coming down.
Any food, but there's something about oranges, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Yeah, all my experiences have been for personal growth.
And it's not. And by the way, I was kidding about the better than sex thing.
But it's close.
But it's damn no, it was close. It was close. I don't know if I would have given up that orange in that moment,
Right.
for sex. I don't know. If I don't know if I would have.
I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
It's funny that you were sprinting down the street because the last thing I want to do is move my body
Yeah.
when I'm on mushrooms. The last thing.
I remember on all fours on the street, like digging in. Because I told you I could feel like every fiber. So I'm like on all fours digging in, about to explode and just run full speed.
That's because you're 17 years old.
I
dude.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
Right. That's why.
I definitely was.
Right. Yeah.
I might have been 16
Yeah.
or 18.
You weren't a full grown man
Oh,
yet.
no. I was like, I was a child. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, all my experiences, most of my experience, I should say, a commonality between all the experiences has been a deep reflection upon myself and the type of person who I am and the type of person that I want to be. And a lot of the things that I've realized is that I'm not as good as I think I am. Yeah.
You have to be able to look outside yourself for
Yeah.
that.
And I'm not as good as I think I am. I can be way better. I could treat people way better.
I think we all could.
Yeah, 100. But there's a difference when you're sober and you think about that. Like you feel it.
No, I could see what you're saying. When you're tripping like that,
you
feel it. Yeah.
Okay,
you feel guilty too, I'm sure.
Oh, dude, cry.
Yeah.
Like I remember, and Scott and I usually do mushrooms together. A lot of times she does less than I do. I try to meet Jesus when I do it. So she's a lot lower than I am.
Yeah.
And man, there's been so many times I just looked at her and just freaking cry.
Well, yeah.
Thinking
of
like,
course.
man, I could be so much better for you. Or looking
Makes
at
me want to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's what I love about it is that like I look at my dog like, I
man.
could treat you so much better. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I just have there's so much compassion.
Yeah.
And then when everything's over, especially over the next few days, it's like you reflect on that experience. And it's like, okay, now the work begins. Now I need to put what I learned into motion in my life to become better.
I could see that.
Right?
I could see that.
And I think that's kind of what this article is talking about a little bit. So let's dive into it. So again, new study links mindfulness meditation and psychedelic use to positive leadership outcomes at work. And this was from SciPost. And I summarized the article. So a recent article published in Frontiers in Psychology discusses the potential positive impact on mindfulness meditation and psychedelic use on leadership outcomes among business managers. The study aimed to explore the effect of these practices on leadership development, given the growing popularity of altered states of enhancing performance and growth. While anecdotal reports had suggested benefits, empirical data on their influence, especially regarding psychedelics, was limited. I want to stop there for a second. And I said this about marijuana, is using it almost as a supplement to enhance myself to be better, right? And so what does that look like for me when it comes to marijuana? Well, it relaxes me a little bit. I'm a high intensity kind of guy.
Which we've talked about.
Exactly. It relaxes me, right? I almost use it as a supplement. And it's the same thing with psychedelics.
Which, by the way, doctors use it as a supplement. They prescribe it.
Oh, for sure. Right.
As a supplement.
Absolutely, right? To help somebody with something that they're dealing with, right? Psychedelics, I think, are the same exact thing. And I'm sure there's people out there, well, I mean, nobody that listens to this, I'm sure everybody has partook in some type of illicit substance. But for those people that are out there that are kind of listening to this thinking like, oh, psychedelics or, whatever, blah, 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 blah. If you've never experienced it, you don't freaking know the power.
If you feel different about drugs, that's fine. Like, we're not saying you go out and do it.
No.
This is our experience.
Right. But it's powerful.
It is.
It's a powerful thing. And
by the way, when we talk about this, when we talk about psychedelics, I'm only talking about mushrooms.
I'm only talking about that's my
nothing else.
Nothing. Well, you can also.
I'm not talking about acid or anything like that.
No, I've never taken LSD.
I've done acid once.
Okay,
and it was a good trip, but the after effects
were
not fun.
Too much dopamine released in the brain.
It hurt your spine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I didn't like that. Like mushrooms or natural, never had an after effect.
Well, LSD is derived from lysergic acid, which is derived from mushrooms anyway. But I get what you're saying. It's more synthesized.
Different.
I understand.
Different. People touch it and twist it.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. So what I love about this right now, just kind of diving into the article a little bit. Imagine if you had leaders, whether that's in government, in business, that were required to take something that dissolved the ego.
Which it would do. That's what mushrooms do. There's no ego.
You don't really have much of an ego left.
You have none.
No. And that's where people have, I think, in my opinion, that's where people have a hard time with psychedelics, is letting go.
I think they have a hard time letting go without psychedelics. I think that door opens.
Yeah.
That door opens when you're on psychedelics.
Exactly, but this is where a bad trip can happen because
I guess if
you
can't
want to
handle
control.
You're not. Gonna
You ain't
control
controlling
it.
shit.
No, that door is getting kicked the hell open.
Oh yeah, there is no control of it,
and just
right?
enjoy the ride.
But so now imagine you have leaders and organizations or government or whatever that have had these experiences. I told you something that I get out of it. I get out of that I need to be more compassionate to others. Now, I am a business owner. It's not like I have 1,000 employees or anything like that. But let's just say I'm a CEO of a company that's 1,000+ employees. And not only am I the leader of this organization, but I'm a leader that obviously I got there for a reason, whether it's because I'm a good businessman or whatever the reason is. But I also have people that are quote unquote following me. And I need to be the leader for them and care for them. Well, how can I care for them if in my mind, I am the only thing that matters? And a lot of bosses, I would say, are like that they are the only thing that matters. They are the reason, they're the narcissists of the world, we could say.
You have to be a narcissist in some right to get to that level.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't necessarily agree with that.
In some sense.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I understand.
Maybe not a narcissist, but you have to have an ego.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You got to have some type of ego.
Yeah.
But now imagine you have something that is allowing you to be more compassionate for somebody that
would do that.
It does do that, right? And now how much of a better leader could you be to your employees?
Now, I'm not talking about like, all right, I'm going to do psychedelics every day.
No.
You do it so it opens your mind, and then you reflect and learn, and then you go from there.
The real work happens when it's over.
Yeah.
Real
life.
Right, when you're back to normal reality, and then you're remembering what happened.
Hopefully you're remembering.
That's the goal, right? Okay, so prior research had indicated that mindfulness meditation, we need to talk about mindfulness in a second. Meditation could lead to stress reduction, improved sleep, creativity, and emotional regulation, while some studies hinted at the positive effects of psychedelics on psychological health, creativity, and interpersonal attitudes. However, these areas lack comprehensive investigation, particularly concerning their connection to leadership outcomes. The study gathered data from 2 samples comprising a total of 9,732 participants. For those of you out there that don't know, that's a lot of people in a study. From the US and the UK, participants provided demographic information and shared their experiences with mindfulness meditation and psychedelic substances, with a focus on how these practices influence their leadership roles. Among those in management positions, a notable portion had engaged in mindfulness meditation, about 43.6%, and tried psychedelics, 17.7%. So a lot more people were meditating than tried psychedelics, while around 10% had experienced both practices. In terms of impact, participants reported that mindfulness meditation positively affected their leadership in 70.9% of responses, while 40.6% noted a positive impact from psychedelics. These practices were associated with enhanced well-being, stress management, increased presence and awareness, improved problem solving, and more empathetic interpersonal attitudes. That's a big one. We just were talking about that. However, the study had limitations, including a lack of detailed information about participants' practices and experiences, and its cross-sectional design prevented the establishment of causal relationships. Nevertheless, the findings suggested that mindfulness meditation and psychedelic use might have comparable and complementary effects on leadership at work. If confirmed by more rigorous studies, these results could potentially lead to the development of novel training programs combining both practices to enhance leadership in the workplace. So, do you practice mindfulness, meditation?
No.
So that's something I do. And what I will say, and I've done this, I've meditated since I was in high school. When I was in high school, one of the things that I used to do was I did more visualization techniques. And I especially did this surrounding sports, where if it was a night before a competition or whatever I was doing, I remember I was always sit in my bedroom. I put my black lights on.
I have black lights too.
Yeah, right. I know you want to bust my balls.
I definitely have
yeah.
black lights.
I put my black lights on and I put on some music. And I would sit there and in my mind, I would continuously go over my roles.
This is so interesting because I'm going to tell you what I did before a game.
Okay.
After when you're done.
I would sit here and I would go over my responsibilities. I would sit there and I would go making tackles, scoring touchdowns, my reads, my assignments, whatever I was supposed to do, and I would visualize myself being successful.
Yeah.
That's where my meditative journey started. And then constantly off and on throughout the years, right? Doing meditation, just listening to meditative music or whatever, thinking about different things. And then I found what was
so
called
different.
Okay, I can't wait to hear yours, dude. Then I started getting into transcendental meditation. And for those of you out there that are interested in TM, you can go check them out, tm.org, nonprofit organization. And they teach you, anybody can do it. Everybody thinks that like meditation, it is a practice, right? But people think like, oh, I can't do it because I think too much. Well, listen, we all think, right? That's a normal part of the human experience. But what I loved about transcendental meditation, and I still practice it to this day, they want you to practice about 40 minutes every day. I do about 5 minutes, 3 days a week. I could be better, but at least I'm kind of consistent, right? And basically what it is, and this is the analogy that they use, and I'll use the same analogy. Your conscious mind is, if you could picture a boat in an ocean that's in a storm. And think about a storm with a boat. And that boat is constantly going up and down all over these waves, right? That is like your conscious mind. If you were to dive deeper into the ocean, what happens in a storm? If you dive deeper,
you don't even notice a storm.
It gets calmer and calmer and calmer, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what TM does. It basically takes you from the conscious mind and brings you down into the subconscious to where essentially there is the goal really is no thought and no mantra, because you repeat a mantra over and over and over and over again. And I know a lot of the hippie community, which I kind of include myself in that as well. A mantra is a word or phrase without any meaning. All right. A lot of people put a mantra that has a meaning to it. Yeah. Technically, it should have no meaning because you don't want to have any sort of association to your mantra. And I can't tell you what my mantra is. It's special to me. So, yeah. Anyways, that's my experience with meditation. And what I will say out of that, from what I get out of meditation, is that my problems, and they said this in the article, my problems are not me. I am not my problems. This is just a facet of life. I am separate from that.
Well, yeah, life is full of problems.
Absolutely.
You just have to navigate them.
Think about how many times you take on that.
Well, that's,
right?
Yeah, and because we think we shouldn't fall for that or do that or whatever it is.
Right.
Whatever problem it is.
But people embody their problems.
Yeah.
And what I love about TM, and especially when I'm practicing regularly, is that I am separate from that. And anything that I have to do, it'll get done. It'll get done. It's no big deal. I'm not going to stress about it.
It should be one thing that you're excellent at.
What's your experience with meditation, dude?
So like you were talking about what you do before a game. So when I was younger playing sports, it would be, put on some like DMX and some hip hop, put my Scully on in the dark, and I would just be like,
were you naked in there?
Yes. Completely, of course. No, but I would just be like zoning out on it didn't matter the words.
It was the beat.
It was the beat. It had to be a hard, bassy, just beat. I didn't even care if there were words. I just needed a beat.
Okay.
Something I could bounce to and just get motivated.
Well, in a way, you're getting into some sort of hypnotic state.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just focus on what I got to do and
Did you carry that on today? I mean, to this day, do you carry that on, that same practice?
No, I haven't done that in a long time.
No?
Yeah.
Because I will say, like, even to this day, man, it's funny. I was taking a shower.
It only applied to me for sports.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nothing else in life.
No, only sports.
Even to this day, I mean, shit, I was just doing this. Like, this is not necessarily meditation, but like today, I had a meeting today. And I was kind of going over the scenario in my head, how it's going to go, what I'm going to say, different pitfalls that might happen, how I'm going to sell this, all that sort of stuff. And I mean, I think there's value to it.
Well, yeah, you're visualizing what's going to happen, what you want to happen.
What I want to happen,
Yeah.
right. I
just had this conversation today with somebody because they were talking about, a friend in school.
Yeah.
Saying, I don't want to jinx it by like talking about me passing or get too excited. No, I'm like, throw that shit out there, put it in the universe, speak it into existence, and make it happen.
There is something to that.
Don't hide from it. Like, go after it.
Right.
Like, I'm a firm believer in everything in life. Like, go after it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you fail 1,000 times. Go after it.
Yeah.
And it's the same, like, everything. Like, offensive driving is better than defensive driving. Like, I'm a firm believer of taking the fucking bull by the horns, and it's going to give you the most control. Whether you win or not, or succeed or not, is irrelevant.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a better chance of doing it.
I agree, buddy. And I think when you speak it into existence, I also think when you're meditating on it, right, based off the article, going over situations in your mind and visualizing yourself being successful, there's something to that. If not for anything else, besides you going over and practicing a scenario, any sort of, team, especially professional teams, baseball, tennis, football, it's constantly going over, game film, scenarios, what to do in this situation, study.
And it's done in different ways. Like, people have vision boards or storyboards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be something mental. It doesn't have to be something where I'm listening to audio. You know what I mean? Like, it could be many different ways to get there.
Agreed.
But it should be done.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And it seems like meditation and psychedelic use, both combined, and I definitely would agree, can make individuals better leaders. And if not for nothing, also help you, I would say, be successful in different areas of your life as well.
I agree.
And as two people who have practiced one or both of these two methods when it comes to psychedelics and meditation, I would, obviously you do what you want to do, what's best for you, but it's definitely been a beneficial thing for me. Especially meditation as well, because that's something you can do every day. I would not recommend doing. You don't even want to do psychedelics every day.
You're not going to want to.
You trust me, you will not want to really, unless you're microdosing. Because it's more of a subliminal thing. There's a lot of benefits.
Yeah, but
it's
not the same trip.
It's not the same. It's not meant to be the same.
Yeah.
Right. But anyways, yeah. It's but from a meditative standpoint, I would definitely recommend meditating a couple times a week.
Drop some thoughts and comments.
And I will say, Scott and I, we do meditate every single night. I forgot about that.
Really?
I do meditate every day. I forgot. We meditate when we go to bed.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. So.
But drop some comments. Let us know your thoughts if you've ever tried it and if it has helped you achieve any of this.
Yeah. Let us know. Anyways, everybody, I think that we'll wrap it up. Oh, we got to finish our last segment, man.
Words of wisdom with Digital Slang. All right. Today's words of wisdom. The wound is the place where the light enters you.
The wound is the place where the light enters you. I guess we can take out of that is through trial and tribulation, there is growth on the other end.
Any pain that you face or have, there's some good that you can find from it.
Absolutely. There's growth on the other end.
Yeah. No matter how hard.
No matter how hard.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Actually, when it's the harder it is and you get through it.
Oh, then you're stronger.
Oh, the better.
Not even
at
close.
The end. Yeah, absolutely, man. So, anyways, everybody, thank you so much for listening and watching. We appreciate you. And any other last words, my friend?
That's it, man. Follow us on all social media platforms and Spotify on audio only. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Find us on YouTube. Like and subscribe. We'll be back soon.
Bye, everybody. Love yous.
Deuces.